Sir, we're on the air.
Good morning, I'm your anchor, Ryan Hicks, and welcome to ADHS News. Tonight's stories show the darker side of human nature. This may be shocking to some viewers, so viewer discretion is advised. We have two featured stories. One is about a crazed drug lord, and the other is about a group of people with a spectacular ability. Although they are not accepted by their society, El Patron is a very powerful drug lord. He created his own country between the United States of America and Mexico. He creates clones of himself, and if he has an organ failure, he has the organ transplanted from the clone to himself so he can live longer. The clone usually dies in the process. He is killing innocents for his own benefit. We have a video of El Patron talking to one of his clones before the operation.
Sit down, Mia Vida. As I remember, you like cookies? Oh well. It always comes down to this. My clones forget about all the wonderful years I've given them. The presents, the entertainment, and the good food. I don't have to do this, you know.
The operating room is ready. El Patron creates clones of himself. He gives them great lives. He says this gives him justice, but then kills him so he can survive. The tyrant doesn't stop at just this. He also has an army of mindless slaves at his disposal. Slavery still exists today. Anyone that passes through opium is captured and turned into an ajit. An ajit is a person or animal with an implant in their head. They can only do simple things. They can pick fruit, sweep floors, or harvest opium. He's taking innocents and turning them into mindless drones that will follow his every command. We have uncovered a story about a young boy named David and his friends. They have a miraculous ability. They can communicate to each other using their brains, sending thoughts in the form of images. They are known as telepaths. The society of Wakanook, where they live, does not accept them. Wakanook is a very strict religious society. They have developed a description of the perfect human, and they do not accept anyone who is different. This includes mental differences like the telepaths. David has brought in some posters that were pinned up in his house. He says they constantly reminded him throughout his childhood that he was different, and if anyone discovered his amazing ability, he would be exiled or worse. We actually have the posters right here. Only the image of God is man. Blessed is the norm. In purity, your salvation. Watch thou for the mutant. The norm is the will of God. Reproduction is the only holy precaution. The devil is the father of deviations. David is told he is a mutant, and that he's not a true human. He is discriminated by his society for being different, and he lives in fear because of it. The people of Wakanook are extremists. They would do almost anything to get what they want. They discover that David and the others are telepaths. Luckily, several telepaths managed to escape, including David, his sister Petra, his cousin Rosalind, and his friend Michael. The people of Wakanook sent a small army after the telepaths. We interviewed David's sister Petra, and she said there was more than 100 men in the army. They sent the army because they felt threatened by the telepaths' mental superiority, although the telepaths had already fled before the army was formed. Wakanook enforces their traditions onto their citizens, allowing them to manipulate their people into doing whatever they want. David's father has been so drastically affected by the traditions of his society that he's willing to kill David because his society says he's different. We interviewed David and asked him how he felt when he first discovered that his father was trying to kill him. I was talking to Michael. He was actually in the army, but they didn't know he was a telepath. And he was giving us information about where they were and how we could avoid them. So I asked him, is my father there? I got his yes forming before he could suppress it. purity. The will of the Lord, honor thy father. Am I supposed to forgive him? Society has such a big impact on people that they convinced a father to try to kill his own son. Breaking news! I have just received information on the death of El Patron. He needed a heart transplant from one of his clones, but the clone was severely sick, and the heart was too weak. They could not perform the operation, although his death did not stop him from causing more travesties. We interviewed Draft Donald, one of El Patron's bodyguard, to report what happened. He said it had gone on for hours at El Patron's funeral when Tamlin brought out the special wine. It had been bottled the year El Patron was born. Tamlin is also a bodyguard of El Patron. El Patron was saving it for his 150th birthday. If he didn't make it, it was to be served at his funeral. The deadly wine was filled with poison and served at his funeral. Draft Donald said they died instantly. The poison was very quick. All this time, El Patron was adding to his dragon horde. Unfortunately, his dragon horde included people. El Patron murdered his family and friends. He believed that they would belong to him, and if he died, they should too. Sometimes things happen in our world that we find unimaginable. Human nature does have a dark side. Please be cautious and aware what's happening around you, and please report anything that you find wrong. I'm your anchor, Ryan Hicks, and thank you for watching ADHS News.